Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining in today virtually for the African American Read in Week. My name is Omar.
I'm Najifa, and we are going to be reading 12 Rounds to Glory today, the story of Muhammad Ali. And we want to thank the Oakland School volunteers for bringing us together for this effort. This is going to be a fairly long book, so we are going to read a couple chapters to you, and hopefully by the end you guys enjoy it enough that you will want to read the rest of it on your own. Should we go ahead and get started, Omar?
Yes, absolutely. We did record and make a presentation, so it's easier for you to follow along and you don't have to look back and forth. This is a book that we're going to read today, 12 Rounds of Glory. It's a story of Muhammad Ali, written by Charles R. Smith and illustrated by Brian Collier. Charles R. Smith won the Coretta Scott King Award for this book, and it's really well written.
All right, let's go ahead and get started. Round 1, The Golden Child.
I always felt that God made Muhammad special, but I don't know why God chose me to carry this child. Odessa Clay, Cassius Clay's mother.
Bathed in beautiful light from parental love, brown skin shimmers with a glow from above. In 1942, the 17th of January, you entered the world in Louisville, Kentucky. Whites-only stores and whites-only parks sifted you out because you were dark. No Negroes allowed and no colored signs created separate worlds and drew colored lines, but your middle-class parents managed to survive through hard work and faith and were able to provide you, their first child, and your little brother later with food, shelter, clothing, and something much greater, love. That was passed to you from day one, love. That was passed to you, the new son of Mother Odessa and Father Cassius Clay, who also passed the torch of your name that birthday. Passed down to you from a white farmer who inherited a plantation and your great-grandfather too. But Clay freed his 40 slaves during America's dark days, then fought to end slavery and fought to change ways and laws and thinking deep in the South, using newspapers, knives, fists, and his mouth. He fought with the spirit that lives in you today, reflected in your name, Cassius Marcellus Clay, reflecting love from your parents who had faith and belief that God would watch over you and provide inner strength.
Round 2, Igniting the Flame.
Daddy, I go to the grocery and the grocery man is white. I go to the drugstore and the drugstore man's white. The bus driver's white. What do the colored people do? Cassius Clay, aged 5.
Like father, like son, you try to charm everyone. A tail-spinning performer holding court on your porch, only 8 years old, already carrying the torch. A fire-filled speech used to brag, joke, and preach to anyone who would listen, to anyone within reach. This skill you would use later in your life to taunt your opponents and draw crowds to your fights. But first we begin with the story of a bike, a brand new, shiny Schwinn, red and white, ridden by you, young Cassius Clay, through a fair one fine day. But that fine day turned instantly gray when you noticed your bike was stolen away. A moment that changed your life in one day. With tears in your eyes, you wanted somebody to pay. You found a cop and went on to say, "I'm going to whoop whoever it was that stole my bike." The cop replied, "First, kid, you have to learn how to fight." And fight you did at the age of 12, taught by that cop, awaiting your first bell. After 6 short weeks, you won by a decision of 2 out of 3 judges. And to all who would listen, you declare your goal to be the greatest of all time. Mighty words uttered from a thin 89-pound kid who put in a goal into motion by tackling your training with discipline and devotion. Morning began, rise and shine at 4 a.m. for workout time. A quart of milk and 2 raw eggs you guzzled for energy to power your legs. You trained and ran and ran and trained before school and after again and again, believing that boxing would bring to you the life of your dreams because you knew too many black men with degrees and education who couldn't get work due to racist separation. Your eyes witnessed men who drowned their frustration by drinking and smoking and partying all night. You used your frustration to stoke fire for fights.
Round 3. Clay, the conqueror of Rome.
To make America the greatest is my goal. So I beat the Russian and I beat the Pole. And for the USA won the medal of gold. Italians said, "You're greater than Caesars of old. We like your name, we like your game. So make Rome your home, if you will." I said, "I appreciate your kind hospitality, but the USA is my country still. 'Cause they're waiting to welcome me in Louisville." Cassius Clay at the Louisville airport upon returning from Rome.
Confident teenager already in control of mind, body, and spirit on the road to your goal, using mouth, skill, and fire to fulfill your desire to become a pro boxer. You set the limits higher by pushing opponents with words before a fight, launching verbal jabs and trying to ignite fear in them and interest in you, young Cassius Clay, the loud boxer who was quicker than lightning when bouncing on toes, using unblinking vision and fists that flicked foes thrown from strong shoulders, landing all over, recoiling in the ring and striking like a cobra. Striking and stinging with unique boxing form, you maintained a cool head in this world of fight storms. You maintained a cool head that carried you through amateur ranks and all the way to a shot at the Olympics taking place in Rome, a plane ride away from your Louisville home. A plane ride stood between you and greatness, but a deep fear of flying would be your biggest test. To the cop who was your coach, you begged and you pleaded, but after hours of listening, he said that you needed to take an advantage of opportunity given to so few fighters, and so you made your decision. After 4 hours of talking, you decided to prey on the plain and packaged parachute you wore on the way. Arriving in Rome, you put on a display of swift and strong style that defined Cassius Clay. Lightning quick feet, dancing in the ring, and the flurry of fists that swarmed like bee stings. Stringing Russia and Poland on the road to victory, you gained gold medal glory in the year 1960. Admired and loved by your Olympic peers, you soon returned home to parades and wild cheers that greeted you as you stepped off the plane with hundreds of people all chanting your name. Cassius! Cassius! They roared across Louisville, but the welcome was short because away from sport, the country you fought for still put people like laundry in two separate piles and forced you, a black man, to deal with hate-filled words spit into your ear like, "I don't care who you are, boy, get out of here." With anger and hate directed at you, they tried to sucker punch your pretty brown face. But anger and hate, thrown like weak jabs, couldn't knock out a prince of black race. Sparking fire inside, fanning flames of black pride, fanning flames of courage and heart you would ride while blazing your path as you turned pro. You burned with a fire that set you aglow. Fighting opponents and hatred with two glowing gloves, you spoke your mind freely while radiating love. A black prince perched on the precipice of fame, young Cassius, the world would soon chant your name.
Round 4, Mighty Mouth.
I am the greatest. I shook up a world. I don't have a mark on my face. I'm pretty. I'm a bad man. You must listen to me. I can't be beat. I'm the prettiest thing that ever lived. Cassius Clay in the ring upon winning his first heavyweight title.
Lou will live, leaps to life. Just a few short years after your first pro fight, bragging and boasting and calling the world, signifying how your opponents would go down. One by one by one, they all fell, each time you were victorious at the ding-ding of each bell. Each victory you crept closer to Sonny, Liston the champion, the title and money. Sonny Liston, an ex-con armed felon, cop beater who destroyed his opponents and bulldozed his way to the top of the ladder in the heavyweight division. Taking his title was your ultimate mission as you focused your energy, confidence, and vision. From Chicago to Denver, long before the fight, you arrived on Sonny's lawn and taunted him one night, saying, "Come out of the door or I'm going to break it down." Leaving a lasting impression of you as a clown, leaving a lasting impression of you as a madman. an impression you performed as a part of your plan. From that night on, all the way to the way in, you taunted and teased to get under his skin, screaming to anyone and all who would listen, destruction and aid of that chump Sonny Liston. White writers wrote the words and scribbled script of Liston silencing your big mouth with that one hit, hoping their Negro would put you in your place by shutting you up and uglying your face. Your dressing room crackled with electricity while you, Malcolm X, and younger brother Rudy, now facing east, praying to Allah to give you strength for your battle in the belly of the beast, praying for strength against a mountain of a man you called a big angry bear, taunting words you used to motivate you to fight because you were scared. But with Allah as your guide, your spirit inside glowed with a fire as the big moment arrived. February 25th, 1964, Miami, Florida. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Miami, Florida for the heavyweight championship of the world. In this corner, the challenger from Louisville, Kentucky, wearing the white trunks and the red trim, weighing in at 210 1/2 pounds, age 22, standing at the 6 feet 3 inches, the former Olympic heavyweight champion, Cassius Clay. Boo. And his opponent from Denver, Colorado, weighing 218 pounds, wearing the black trunks with white trim, standing at 6 feet 1 inch, age 31, the heavyweight champion of the world, Charles Sonny Liston. Yay! Clay versus Liston for the heavyweight boxing title. Good luck, gentlemen. Ding, ding. Clay comes out, circling the ring. Sonny steps and steps and steps and zing. His left jab catches air as Clay disappears, circling, duckling, bobbing, and weaving, bouncing on toes with speed so deceiving that jabs from Liston only destroy air as young Clay dances at will around the ring like a fleet-footed cat eluding a dog until a rock-solid right ripples Clay's flesh from a brown leather fist and vibrates his chest, shaking and quaking Clay's heart, rattling and rippling ribs in their cage, splitting muscle fibers apart. But Clay is unflinching. He steps in closer, grabs Sonny, then hooks him by his right shoulder and pushes him off to Sonny's up for a long left jab in the face, then ducks a left, a right, and a left hooking fist sprung from a meat rack that mighty misses Clay's head up by a mile. Using speed and style, young Cassius Clay dances away, then lets fly a flurry of fist, right left, right left, right left combo. Shots to the head with crisp, snap, and sting from brown leather gloves that drop pain on Liston like bombs from above as the first round ends with the sound of ding ding, ending the assault of Liston in the ring. As the fight goes on, Clay continues to bring the pain to Liston while boxing with spring, in bouncing feet that start, stop, start, to set up punches that pop, 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 to the face, to the chin, to the chest, to the gut, back to the face. Left, right, open a cut under Liston's left eye, then bloodies the nose of Sonny the champ as Clay dances on his toes. But Sonny charges in, intent on devastation, swinging a wrecking ball right that wobbles the foundation of the challenger, Clay, who bounces away, quick and instinct, then puts on a display of dazzling speed and imposes his will, with a barrage of blows to Liston until the start of round 5. Hold on, folks, something is wrong. Clay is seating in his corner too long. Some sort of substance caught you by surprise as Liston's glove bruised across your eyes, voiding your vision and singeing your sight, motivating you to stop the fight. I can't see. Cut off the gloves, you shout to a figure hovering above, an old pro named Angelo, who brought cool and eliminated fears by rinsing your eyes and swabbing your tears. He calmed you down first, then shouted in your ear, "This is a big one, Daddy. We're not quitting now. Just stay away from him and run." A decisive moment that defined your career. As you stepped up and spun back into battle, blind in your eyes, with the vision of gaining the world heavyweight prize. Measuring Sonny with your left arm out, with a safe distance kept you in the bout, just long enough for your eyes to clear, just long enough for you to hear the sound of the bell ending the round, giving you confidence to take Sonny down. War waged on until a crucial decision at the start of seventh when Liston threw the towel in, ending the fight, making you heavyweight champion that night. A victory cheered by only a few, because prior to the fight, there were white writers who insulted you, degraded, and dismissed you as a clown, as a windbag, as the uppity boy, too. Cassius Clay, age 22, the new heavyweight champion on full view. You silenced them all from center stage, gloves high, mouth open, shouting with glorious rage. Eat your words, I am the king. I'm the king of the world.
Round 5, Black Star Rising.
How can I kill someone when I pray 5 times a day for peace? Muhammad Ali.
1964. You were king of the hill still. No respect was given after you snatched your crown, 'cause word on the street was you was down with black Muslims in the Nation of Islam. Therefore down with angry black radicals. Therefore down with angry black radicals who carried guns. Therefore down with angry black radicals who carried guns and defied authority. Therefore a radical threat. Heavyweight champion down with Malcolm X. You shed your slave name of Cassius Clay, giving birth to a new belief in Islamic religion, reflected in your name when reborn as Muhammad Ali, a Muslim name meaning worthy of praise, high exalted one. You sacrificed your champion status to practice the teachings of Islam, sacrificing your soul to the will of Allah. Your sacrifice supported by 5 sturdy pillars, Shahada, which means declaration of faith, Salat, which means prayer 5 times a day, Zakat, which means charity to man, Siyam, which means fasting from dawn to sundown to cleanse the soul during the month of Ramadan, and Hajj, which means a pilgrimage to Mecca, the Holy Land. Pillars introduced to you by way of a man you met on the street whose name was Captain Sam. He introduced to you the teachings and plan of Elijah Muhammad to help all blacks stand up against racism dealt by white hands. In Miami, in a mosque, the Muslim house of worship, Brother John the preacher spit fire from his lips about inherited slave names with no sense of black ancestry, leading to an erasure of racial identity. Finally, someone spoke to you directly, saying progress would come by any means necessary, a message you embraced with your soul faithfully as you joined to serve Elijah honorably. Elijah the messenger fed the teachings of the nation to hungry black souls filled with years of frustration, souls stung by hate since the days of the plantation, souls beaten like animals in savage humiliation. Your soul became alive with a swelling of black pride, feeding fire you ignited from self-love deep inside, a fire you spread to other black folk who looked up to you even as some wrote you off as a racist, filled with hatred, respected and rejected for your outspoken nature. But in 1967, when called to serve your country at war in Vietnam, you said no to the army, refusing to fight an unknown enemy for a country that treated you with anger and hostility. For an unknown cause, you refused to kill and simply stood still when your name was called to step forward and serve. You stood all alone with great courage and nerve because faith in Allah and faith in your religion of Islam kept you from war. U.S. Government 1, Muhammad Ali 0. An undying faith soothed your soul with relief as you said no to war for religious beliefs. Your refusal to fight in the war in Vietnam made the U.S. government use you as their pawn and put you, the greatest, into your place, stripping you of your boxing license and in all 50 states. They then snatched your title and said you disgraced the American name, using your boxing fame to play the religion card in a patriotic game of war. Your sentence for saying no, locked up for 5 years behind prison doors, 5 years never served because your request for an appeal, which provided you with time to try the case again, but you still couldn't climb back into the ring to fight to make money. Because you spoke out and defied your own country. You gave up your title but showed what you stood for when Allah moved your spirit to say no to war. Undefeated in the ring and outside as a hero, score, U.S. Government 1, Muhammad Ali 0.
Round 6. The Politics of Peace.
Joe Frazier is too ugly to be a champ. Joe Frazier is too dumb to be a champ. The heavyweight champion should be smart and pretty, like me, Muhammad Ali.
Time ticked off on the clock as your appeal awaited, but for 3 years you stood firm as your message vibrated into a country conflicted over the Vietnam War as the body count of young boys continued to soar. You now earned a living by speaking your mind on college campuses to students defined as long-haired hippies who flashed the peace sign, igniting a fire in youth to change times. Protests and pickets and the power of TV splashed your face everywhere for all the world to see. From New York to Japan to Africa and Thailand, I across the globe witnessed you take a stand when you said no to war for religious beliefs and defined your governments by standing for peace. But standing for peace meant sitting out for your sport as you continue to fight your battle in court, a battle you hoped would soon come to an end, while the world wondered, will Ali fight again? Thanks, everyone. This is all we have for today. There are 6 more chapters in this wonderful book. Definitely, we encourage you to read along next time and take your own time to read the next 6 chapters and learn what happened to Muhammad Ali. There is a beautiful timeline at the end. I do love timelines, which shows his records and how many fights he won, and also all the other things he did in his beautiful life.
Yeah, thank you everyone for joining us today. It was a pleasure to have read for you and hope to see you all next year. Thanks, everyone.